What's up, YouTube? Check it out. We're back in the shop to work on the wagon. Not that one. That one. And that one. Because we got a couple of big swap meets coming up. The first one next weekend. And, well, our wagons needed a little bit of a tune-up and a refresh.
And I'm not carrying shit.
And she's not carrying shit. Anyway. Babe, why don't you tell us about your wagon? Because these aren't just, you know, your generic radio flyers, right?
No, these are not. These are Sears edition wagons.
Sears.
Sears, which you can't really tell. It's a little, but I don't know exactly what year they were done in, but they're typically a blue, not a red, like the...
Well, that one is. Your All American.
The All American was blue, white, red, white, and blue. And I do have another one of these, which I found, which is in a little bit better condition. It's hanging up on the wall.
That one's over there. We'll take a quick gander. There's the All American graphics, the Sears All American. So why aren't we messing with that one?
Because that one's in way better condition.
Okay.
You don't see the Sears wagons around a lot. They caught my eye, so we're gonna do a little bit of restoration on these. I'm not gonna go into big like painting, fixing that whole thing, you know, because I want to keep it a little antique-y looking, older. But the one biggest thing is that we have put this thing to really good use. If you notice right here on my little wheel, I'm missing some stuff.
You've been doing burnouts?
So, no, it's called hauling the heavy stuff for the husband. So, mine is a little different. It's a standard wagon. Cole's, he does have a Sears edition. It's not the All American one. It is the Sears XL-500. Well, just the body anyways. Everything else has been modified to it. So, but sometimes he gets a little hung up because it's a little shorter.
She's a low rider.
And she's a low rider, so he's actually bottomed out multiple times. And he needs to do some work on it because we do have really big swap meets coming up where it is miles and miles and miles of walking. So trying to, if we find that really good deal that we really want, it's really hard to be like, hey, will you hold on to it? We'll be back. But it's also hard to carry it around and get exhausted very fast. So we always do take wagons with us wherever we go. Well, when it's a big one. So we're gonna do a little bit of help on these guys so that they are ready for the huge swap meets that are coming up for us.
So with that, you may have noticed that there's some what looks to be a little bit wet on the wagons. I already hit most of the fasteners on them with Croil, basically penetrating oil. A lot of the bolts on these are rusted up and are going to need a little bit of help to come off. We went to Tractor Supply, which most of the time has what I'm looking for, but unfortunately they didn't quite have everything we needed. But we got a bunch of supplies to do the tune-up on these. We're going to have to order some wagon wheel bearings online because they didn't have the right size at Tractor Supply. But we'll be able to get those in time for next weekend because, well, they wouldn't go in today anyways because we are doing some paint tune-up work on some of the wheels to freshen them up. So bearings will come later in the week. We'll probably have to put them in like the night before the swap meet. But for now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get these broken down and do a bunch of parts, get them cleaned up, do some rust bust on them, and yeah, something a little bit different. It's still old school, still vintage, still hot roddy, still wagon, just different kind of wagon.
No, it's make your wife happy day, and you're going to do what the wife wants, not what you want. So
yes, it's that. That's
always got to at least take one day and do what the wife wants.
One day out of how many?
A month.
1 day a month. You heard it, guys. 1 day a month is what I owe her. Well, it looks like we waited a little too long to do some restoration work on the All American. We've got some cracks going on that are going to need some repair. So we're going to see if we can't weld that up and be able to finish that off and restore that a little bit so it doesn't get any worse. But yeah, progress, more progress. Parts getting cleaned, stuff being fabricated, making progress, right?
I like your little egg pile.
Hey, hey, hey. I'm saving those. Well, there it is. We got these those cracks flattened back out where they needed to be and welded up pretty good. The process of welding rusted up sheet metal that's really old is not exactly easy to do, and doing it with just a flux core machine makes it that much more difficult because flux core and sheet metal is just a challenge all on its own. But overall, I mean, it should get the job done for at least a few more years as a good patch-up work. One thing I will point out is if you're working something like this and you need a place to put a ground clamp and you have a hole, just put a bolt through it and clamp it on there. That way you're not having to strip paint off of places that you might not want to. Just, you know, food for thought. Anyway, we're gonna keep on trucking on. The wife's been out there starting to get the some coatings on some of the pieces. You know, all good stuff, right? Today's been fun. We've had a lot of fun with the wagons. As you can see, there's only the pan for my XL-500 sitting out in the sun right now. It still needs to dry. I just finished washing that. But why don't you come show us what you did with your stuff? There was a lot of rust repair. I actually had to do quite a bit of welding on stuff, you know, fixing minor things, which welding the old rusty sheet metal's always a challenge, but you know, we got it done. So here, check it on out. What you got?
So we did put the rust up on all the pieces before we put it back together because we are going to be, well, I'm going to be trying to color coordinate mine. So we do have obviously my handle. My handle will be red. I'm gonna do, you know, white back on the wheels like the old one. We do need to get new bearings put on, a couple of other things.
So what's what down here?
Well, this is yours. That's mine. Those are my wheels, my handle, my wheel holder. And then you actually made your handle different.
Yeah,
You
it needed to be longer.
it. So he did extend his handle. So, and then also he added another brace to the back of his for support. So next step will be to do colors. So
The real question's gonna be, what was that? What was that?
well, mine wasn't good enough.
No, I was gonna say
Mine
the
wasn't good enough.
real question is, are we gonna have them done by swap meet?
Mine will be done by the swap meet.
Are you sure? You got a lot of painting to do.
I only got my handle and my wheels. I'm debating on that stuff.
That's what we bought the silver for.
I'm debating on it.
You're debating on it.
Well, because the one over there is white.
Oh, well, then you could do those in white.
Well, we'll see how the white turns out. Because I don't want the black to show through.
All right, well, you might have to do 2 coats,
So
but
we will see.
you got lots of painting to do.
We will see. So this all has to be done by Thursday night because Friday we are headed to the first swap meet.
The first big swap meet for this year,
Big,
which is the Southwest swap meet in Grand Prairie.
that's
I think
in Texas.
I think they've got like 1,300 or 1,400 vendors, something like that. Maybe it's even bigger than that. I don't know. It's big. It's you know, one of those ones where you don't want to have to go back and forth to the car 100 times.
No.
So you take your wagons. So yeah, we've got lots of work to do. This video is not going to actually end right here. We'll touch in a couple of times throughout the week leading up to the swap meet as we get the wagons back together. But this is probably where we're going to call it for today because I'm pooped.
It's Sunday. We got
Sunday.
work tomorrow.
And it's dinner time. So we will catch up with you guys tomorrow.
Oh, snap,
Oh my
woman.
God.
What you got going on now?
Blue.
Blue?
It's not the right color, but
Well, looks like it's pretty close,
it'll
actually.
do.
All right, so where are we at?
So right now we're kind of waiting on, well, some paint to dry, but we've got most of everything painted so far. You did get your new wheels today, so you can unbox those and show everybody.
Nice.
We got both handles done. You got your front wheels. I got my back wheels. Got everything else kind of put together, kind of waiting for everything to dry. One thing that we're gonna do on my wheels before we put them on are, for some reason, the hardware store didn't want to have the size bearings that I needed. And these are very, very shot. So we're gonna re-grease them before we put them on, but we're not gonna do that until the wheels are completely dry so I don't mess up, which they're already messed up as it is. I'm gonna have to redo them, but that's a different story. And then tomorrow,
Which is what day?
oh, sorry. Tomorrow, which is Wednesday, April 10th, I should be getting my hubcaps, little thingy, what are they?
No, Thursday. Those don't come in until Thursday.
Oh, those don't, okay, those don't come in until Thursday, which Thursday is gonna be crunch time day because we have to literally have both wagons completely put together, everything loaded up, because on Friday morning, we are taking off to Texas. So hopefully by then, today is Tuesday, hopefully everything runs smoothly and we don't come into anything because that's just gonna be a bummer. But anyways, one good thing is that I do have a backup wagon. Cole does not have a backup wagon, which my backup wagon is right back there. So if everything decides to fail, I do have a backup. Cole doesn't. But that means that I'm gonna have to carry all of his stuff, so.
That's a pretty normal thing. I usually just make her take a wagon and load it up with my junk. Anyway, I've got work to do, she's got work to do, so we're gonna get some work done. All right, well, we're about done for tonight. The All American, wifey's All American, has a nice fresh coat of blue on its interior. That should hold up well. And of course, we left the exteriors all patinaed up just the way they were. The final coat of white is on all the wheels for the All American. The second coat of red on the handle. The frame's about ready to be bolted up, but because of that fresh blue in there, we can't do anything with that. The XL-500, my little low boy, is coming together nicely. The back end's put together. I do need to get some spacers. I'll have to go back to good old Tractor Supply and raid the hardware and see if I can get a spacer set up that puts the wheels where they need to be. But I needed to get it together to figure that out because I did change out the rear wheels, so I knew the spacing would change. The front wheels have a nice fresh red coat of paint on them. I don't think I'm going to get the white back on those in time because I can't mask those up for the white for probably a couple of days to let all that red harden up. Otherwise the masking tape will peel it up. But look at it from this side. The front end's mostly all put together. We'll need some spacers up there as well. We need some fresh hardware for the handles because I don't know where it's at. Oh, there it is. The bolt for my handle right here. As you can see, rust was quickly going to make that useless. Anyway, and we had to cut the bolt for the All American to get the handle off of there because it was rusted out. So we need a few bits and bobs as far as hardware goes, and then we'll be able to get these guys back together. But I don't think we're going to have any issue having both wagons ready for the swap meet. Mine went together pretty well. So I'm going to get the shop shut down, close everything off. Paint will cure for another 24. Oh, bad light shower right on my face. Hey, there we go.
Paint for cure for about another 24 hours before we get a chance to mess with this, because it's back to work tomorrow. We've got basically 2 more evenings to get both wagons put back together for the swap meet down in Texas. If you're wondering, if you really think about it, you know, most swap meets you can probably get away without a wagon. Well, this one that we're going to, I looked it up and actually did a count on the vendor slots for the swap meet, and it's got 2,900, 2,600, I don't know, well over 2,000 vendor slots. So you don't want to have to make 100 trips back and forth to your car out in the parking lot, and that's how you miss deals, lose out on stuff, or end up carrying too much junk around. So that's why we're getting the wagons tuned up. And then not more than 2 weeks after the swap meet this weekend, another 2 weeks out is the Pate swap meet, which this video should be posted before the Pate swap meet. But that one's also, that's at Texas Motor Speedway, and it's a huge swap meet with a few thousand vendors and takes a full day of walking. So wagons for swap meets like that are what you want. And well, we're not just going to be average Joes toting around a garden cart. You gotta do it in style. You gotta haul your parts in style. So the Sears wagons are getting the tune-up, and well, anyway, we'll catch up with you. Maybe an update tomorrow night, depending on what we get done. Otherwise, we're damn close, almost there.
Welcome back, YouTubers. We are on Wednesday of the wagon restoration, fixing, making better, getting ready for the swap meet. Right, today all the painting is dry, good to go. One thing that I do need to address on one of my wheels, last year I did have a little bit of a blowout problem. If you can see right here, I got a big, gnarly gash in my wheel, and literally you can,
plumber's crack?
Yeah, you can see right through it. And if you listen very carefully, I don't know if you can hear that, but I got a rock in there, but we're just gonna leave the rock. I guess it might be good luck. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna get our caulking on. We're gonna deal with some big gap problems. We're gonna see if this, you know, kind of like a fix-a-flat for a wagon wheel. So I'm gonna spray this in there. It's spray foam. We're gonna see how it does. If it doesn't work out, remember, I always got a backup, but fingers crossed, this works.
Gently insert the tip.
I'm just kidding. So since it's completely hollowed out, I'm gonna do both sides and kind of let it foam up, and we'll see what happens. Let's see how much I can mess this up. Is it working? Oh, there it is. On the instructions, it says go slow. Me, I'm not patient.
That's gonna explode everywhere.
Oh, well, it's your shop, it's okay.
Oh,
Now I'm gonna attempt the other side. Go in the hole. Okay, never mind. I don't know if you guys can hear that, probably not, but this thing makes some funny sounds. I don't know what it's doing, maybe it's working.
is that it? Is that the whole can?
No. No, it's not the whole can. I was going too slow. It said to go slow.
Oh, here it comes.
Jesus Christ. Shake it.
Work out every last little bit.
to get a little bit more. Gosh. And now we wait. And hopefully it doesn't explode. But yeah, so that's on one wheel. The next wheel, we're going to use some JB weld on it. You want to take that for me, please?
I'm gonna take care of your mess before
Yeah.
it ends up everywhere.
On this wheel, obviously it's starting to get a couple of cracks in it. So before it decides to do a blowout on me, I'm gonna put some JB weld on it, kind of flatten it out a little bit, kind of save it if I can. So that's gonna be what I'm gonna be doing today. Got a funky smell to it.
Is that what that smell is?
Yeah, right. I was like,
Nasty.
it's a funky smell, yeah. I mean, it's not potent, but it's like,
That or maybe it's the foam.
no, you mix it more, it gets more potent. Yeah. Okay. It's like waxing.
Well, then this should be a piece of cake for you. What you don't want to do is get it on your hands
I won't get it on my hands.
or your clothes.
I won't get it on my hands. I won't get it on my clothes.
You're so focused, you're being super quiet.
Is that how you know I'm focused? Because I shut my mouth?
Yeah, you stop talking. Your brain can't do talking and super focused.
No, it can.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but I usually use my hands when I talk, so.
Oh, so your brain can't talk without being able to use your hands.
Maybe. What if I do get this on my hand?
Yeah, well, then you're gonna have a hard time getting it off.
Oh, it's like super glue?
Probably worse.
Get back to you.
All right, you guys get the idea. Basically what we're trying to do is keep this wheel from becoming a plumber's crack like the other wheel. Hopefully this will work. The two-part epoxy hopefully sealed up a little bit. The plumber's crack wheel, which is oozing big time. It's got some ooze going on. Once the foam is done doing the foam thing, it'll probably get capped with some of the two-part epoxy as well, because the foam's not exactly a durable or a bonding agent. It's just a fill for that giant gap. So we'll fill that with the two-part epoxy and maybe that'll work. If that doesn't work, we might try something like a rubber cement or something like that later on down the road to try and reinforce it. But for now, that's what it's gonna be. So while she finishes up with that, I'm gonna get started on putting some more stuff together. Like you saw in the last update, my wagon's actually pretty close, but I've got to do some unmasking on the wheels, get those fitted up, and then we got to start getting the All American bolted back together, which means you need to, well, you're doing a good job.
On what?
On your wheel waxing.
I'm just waiting to pull it, looking at the screen.
Well, how's it going?
So far so good, just, filling the big holes that still are there. But it's gonna turn out good. Just gotta keep working it.
That's the last wheel that needs work, right?
Yep, last wheel.
The All Americans almost put back together. A little bit of work on the wheel, and we got handles to deal with. This guy's just about done.
We just have a few, just in the camera, hang with me. Just have a few bolt issues that we'll have to remedy. This bolt right here was the bolt that held the handle on the All American, and we had to cut it off because it was rusted up way too bad to get loose. I think I've already showed this in the video, but this was the bolt that held my handle on, and I was able to get it out. Didn't have to cut it, but as you can see, rust is winning that battle. So that's where we're at. She's probably going to finish up a little bit of epoxy work, and we're pretty much going to be done for tonight. Going to have to run to Tractor Supply tomorrow to get a few bits and bobs and a couple of bolts, and we'll be able to button these things up, and they'll be ready in time for the swap meet. Anyway, we'll check back in with you guys tomorrow.
Yes. Finish day.
Finish day.
Finish day.
We made it! We're out at Grand Prairie. We made it to the swap meet, and both the wagons are here. We did have to cut a few corners a little bit on some of the spacers that I wanted to get the wheels set just right, because I couldn't find nylon washers at the local hardware store. Go figure, Tractor Supply, you failed me. But we're at the swap meet. We're ready to find some deals.
We're gonna have a good day.
Anyway, we will see you guys on the next one.